Hareen Singh to share his experience. Hareen comes from Maharashtra. He has completed his dual master's program, Masters in Mechatronics from Leibniz University, Hannover, and Intelligence Systems from St. Petersburg University, Russia. Hareen is working currently as a machine learning engineer at Scanblue Engineering, Germany. Previously, he has also worked with MAN, Diesel, and Turbo Limited. Hareen, please share your experiences.
I'm sorry. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Okay, are you able to see me?
Yes, we see your screen.
My screen is kindly give me a second. There has been a problem with me here. Okay. So good pre-evening to you all. So having been worked in Germany for 3 years and having 1.5 years of experience in Aurangabad, Maharashtra, I think going through crest and troughs of my life, I think I could talk something about experience of me working as an engineer in Germany. And talking something about me would be I cleared my bachelor's in India, worked for 1.5 years in MAN Diesel. Mr. Bose could have been here and he could have talked about this. So my MAN is the same MAN he talked about as Augsburg. It was a shipbuilding thing. We used to assemble it and I was in the testing department. Later, I worked for my master's in Russia and Germany. So 1 year here and 1 year there. I think I could have the best opportunity of the both worlds. And currently, I completed 3 years in Scanblue Engineering. It's in the same state and I'm living in Hannover. Close to me. I hope I'm allowed to be biased since it's my job experience and my thing in Germany and India. So since we are the people of data, let me go here and talk to you of something interesting. See, the numbers don't make sense, right? So let me talk to you what exactly are these. Let it come to a result and maybe we both could experience and maybe assemble here and say that this has all happened to us. In a company of MAN Diesel, Aurangabad, I had the opportunity to work with more than 200 people, and in Germany, it's 50. So you can imagine the vast amount of difference I had to go through. What you see here actually places quite an interesting fact in front of us, and I have been in the advanced stage of looking at it from my view and analyzing it, and then maybe going through the steps what Dr. Gautam has actually told you in future if you have to settle here. So 66 is the amount of hours I put in a week, but the contract said 40. Actually, 40 is what I spent in Germany, which meant I was working 11 hours for 6 days. It wasn't 11, but okay, close to 11 and 6 days. So the contract was for 5 days and it was for 8 hours a day. Unfortunately, that didn't go through, and we can all understand and imagine what one has to go through in India to compete and to get better of himself. Additionally, I would like to say what these numbers mean. 23 is the amount of holidays I had in my first year. It got increased to 26, and the number of sick leaves, if you can see here, are definitely unbinding. What I had in my first year of working as a graduate engineer trainee was 15, and of them 5 were left because I wasn't allowed to take it, unfortunately. And again, I don't want to talk about what happens in India with this, but if you gather the numbers and see, an important fact is 2.5 representing 75 is the amount of days I was in India for both the years. So I was given the flexibility to work in India using my company's laptop, and I was thrown with trust, and I think I did a good job there. What I'd like to say here or conclude from the numbers is massive amount of respect when you do work both the ways and not being questioned anyway. The time difference, 3.5 hours worked for me, and I would definitely come to the conclusion, or I would ask you to see here what Germany does for you in many wonderful ways. The flexibility is not only related to the amount of working hours and the number of days I can live in India, but also to the working time. And let me talk about what you can do all those with all those all those time in a hand and how it affects us. So yeah, with this trust, you can put in your time for more hobbies. There's a flexible starting time. You get ample family time, but that doesn't mean you don't work hard. You do, but the productivity is increased. So that was in conclusion the very big factor why I would say I'm still sticking up in Germany compared to many other countries I could. The next thing I would say is deadlines and commitments. N number of times it has been there that someone or the other messed up and we couldn't get to the last point, right? And you guys working in various fields have definitely understood that and maybe have someone else to blame, but that doesn't happen in Germany. One of the reasons I would say they have a very stringent structure and they are meticulous planners, so they don't entertain surprises. And I think one of the best things is to stick to the schedule here with what they do. And I definitely like this part about them because that never used to happen with me in India. Punctuality, there's no questioning here. Deadline means deadline and people are punctual, though they are being flexible with their time. The thought process, if you see, is an important factor in all these. And I failed to see when I couldn't do it. And I think this is what I learned through the way. And I would definitely say this should be a target audience for you guys who are thinking to better yourself in future, which I would say happen in a flexible environment like Germany. I have the freedom, I have the independence to work on my own. And me being an ML engineer, and you know that nothing is wrong in machine learning, there is just an improvement of accuracies. I would say that this has given me a lot of freedom to change, to challenge, to adapt. And my supervisor will also be in synchronization here. So I would definitely say that I got freedom here. Had it been India where strict deadlines and micromanaging happens, which I don't have to explain you, I say I would have fallen short. I again would like to impulse this point of appreciation, which is a thing which not many do get justice for, and but I would say it does happen in Germany. You may see your supervisor talking about n number of things about you, and the blame game is not as it is in India, I would say so. And if you ask me why does this happen, so well, there are many cultural differences, and it is a matter of fact we are coming from different countries, so there ought to be cultural differences. We are from different states in India, and each state would say a country in Europe. So yes, I think we both could here talk about cultural differences, but the biggest difference I would say is being direct. And why I would say so, people may sound rude to you, but Germans are blunt. They understand yes, no. What we understand is no, maybe. And then we are following someone and saying yes to everything owing to the pressure. I would say this quality of life with yes and no helped me in my personal aspect of life as well. I've been going to many places, playing and spending my weekends, and I can have the opportunity to say yes and no without offending someone just because I'm in Germany. Maybe this wouldn't have been again possible had I been in India. So some points again what is not there in India, and maybe we could work on, or the things are definitely changing that could reflect on us, is we improvise along the way, which whereas meticulous planning is what people in Germany do. And adaptation to customers' requirement is then not to be bothered of, unfortunately. But what happened in India, I would say, is the gossip part, the socializing part, where Frau is also coming to the dinners and things, whereas there is compartmentalized work, and personal life. Nobody knows your personal life, and your work life is very different. They don't mix together. Nobody calls you after work hours. Nobody knows how your children are doing and wife is going through. So I would say in many ways it is work hard both the places, but party harder in Germany. In our case, we may work hard, which has definitely shown in the presentations before, where we have gone with the CEOs of different countries. But since I was working 6 days, the 7th day had to be the rest, or I couldn't work on the 8th day, again Monday. So I would say this has been true for my dad as well. And yeah, weekend unfortunately doesn't go as hand in hand as what Germans do. But why am I talking about good things in Germany and bad things about India? Actually, it is not to be seen in that light, but I would still say the best thing is we are adaptable, and that is the best quality I would say is about Indians. They can go through any situation, and since you have to adapt, you have to sacrifice. Unfortunately, something is going to come and something is going to taken away with you. But I think we are the ones who could adapt, and for adaptation we need sacrifice. You can see it in a bad light, you can see it in a good light. If I see in a good light, where I worked hard, did sacrifices, went from my master's, went from mechanical engineer to being something in IT related field, and I think that was only possible because somebody helped me. But yeah, the timing and sacrifices I had to do to get my time out and whatnot were involved in pre-amateur times like hell. I am very thankful that you could see the cultural difference. Of course, these are not all. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I've never talked to you about many things which happens in India, and things taking place when you want to go ahead in your life ladder. But I would want to mention that there is no sir and ma'am culture here, which I think is quite inevitable. And I go through it, not calling someone sir just because he's younger or older to me, but calling a 65-year-old dude, that is you, in informal way to your colleague. I think that maintains a sense of appreciation and respect, and I like German culture for that at least. Overall, since it is my experience and I'm allowed to be biased, I would say I had a fun feeling and fulfilling time currently in Germany. The life has been quite disciplined. 5 days of our work and 6 and 7 days you can play, do things you have no time or never had time. You have ample time after work, and that's a good thing. The coordination and communication have increased. And we have overgrown appreciation. There are ample number of opportunities, which I think I would have been very much restricted to being in India and doing household chores with the family. And not to mention the least, I've had the sense of satisfaction, and I am satisfied working in Germany. For all those who are looking to come to Germany, I would say it could be your work country. With this, I am not going to take much time. It's been 12 minutes. I'm sorry to take more time, but thank you so very much. Belated Happy Engineers Day to you. And in case somebody would join me, would have some questions, so those are my details. And with this, I end my presentation.
Thank you very much, Hareen. It was very insightful, and you really touched quite a lot of important points for someone who's coming from India to here. No, thank you very much. With this, happy Engineers Day again for everyone. And now I hand over to Mr. Gautam for the vote of thanks.
Thank you very much, Aditya, and thank you very much, Hareen, for such an insightful presentation.